right, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this my second part and just still upload it to YouTube because I feel like the first part was still very valuable. Um, but like I was saying, Aquarius is giving you all these possibilities and options. You know, the seven of I want to say seven of pentacles. You have opportunities that come through for you, and what spirit wants in this year of the seven is for you to make the decision based off of your truth. Seven also rules over truth. It rules over a sense of completion, and I think that that's through the self. Before you can complete a chapter or a millennia or like you open one door and you close another one when you hit the nine, and then you start a new beginning at 10. So I think seven is a very important year, and I want you guys to be very focused on how you can create and inspire change through changing your self beliefs, views, opening your mind, becoming more creative, tuning into your creative spirit, and tuning in further into God, as seven is also about your spiritual path and the occult. 111 is to just pass that, so I know that that is a confirmation on what we're being said. I have another download, and it's kind of out there. I just feel like it needs to be shared because I really decode a lot. Like, I'll watch movies and shows and I decode them, and I'm trying to find a medium where I feel comfortable sharing my thoughts and my decodes, mostly on Twitter so far. If you want to follow my Twitter, it's Cleopatra's Rise, and I basically just talked decodes on there. But what I really wanted to talk about was the Avengers. I had this download in the shower and I almost like fell over. But we all know Thanos is seen as the villain in the Avengers because he's trying to collect like the jewels so he can snap the universe and basically like kill off half the universe, right? It's like a population control, in my opinion. And I really was thinking about it, and I was thinking about the jewels on our earth and what is being attacked, whether it be like environmentally or colonialized. 222 on my clock. Colonialized or colonized. I mean, there we go. So the Avengers, we have these jewels, and in our world, our U.S., all over the motherfucking world, we have jewels as well, right? We have like the Amazon that keeps getting attacked with fires. We have Alaska that's being heavily guarded by CIA agents, and I don't want to say CIA agents. They're obviously special forces, but they're apparently hiding something behind a wall, right? And then we have like I want to say like the Caribbean, Latin America, Haiti especially. They have like uranium in their mountains, and then we have Hawaii, which has a ton of natural resources. We obviously have Africa, which has a ton of natural resources. And what do we have there? We have population control being monitored very closely by the UN, and just constant Western states trying to get into Africa. Um, Killing off certain animals, killing off very large amounts of natural resources. And in a way, I feel like those are the jewels being collected because basically what the elite, or, and I don't even want to say that, but I believe it's more of like an extraterrestrial existence group of people who are trying to kill those things off because those things are what energetically give us life. Um, and when we don't have enough of those resources, we die, because the vibration of the planet is so low because it no longer is pumping from those places of intense energetic portal. So I thought that was like really just crazy. What else did I fucking put down? Extract natural powers from the earth so that vibration will be lower. I mean, you got to think about it. Like, everybody has fucking like depression and all this shit now. Social media is like bleh, making your like vibration so low. You're in comparison mode. You're always in a version of separating from yourself or separating from your people, your family, especially, which your family is like in its own unit. When it's all together, it's a vibration. And so, how many people don't talk to their parents anymore or aren't able to actually see their parents as humans and just see them as like the people who failed them. Like, without forgiveness, you also sink into a lower vibration. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. I don't want to argue with you about it. But that plan is really to wipe out the population. Our population is really suffering right now, not only because obviously people are dying, right? But we are literally seeing infertility rates going up. We're seeing a lot of people dying from random illness or COVID or COVID or cancer or poisons. You know, there's vaccine injuries. Like, there's so many different attacks that are being made on the human population and death, unfortunately, as it is. Instead of people honoring that death and allowing it to live on, it furthers, like, depresses them, and it further creates a sadder vibration. I wish I could like zoom in right now so you could just be like, meh. But yeah, so I felt like that was also like a way that like Satan works. Like Satan likes to like divide and like create more and more confusion. And when we're confused, there's no way to actually root down and plant because we're all over the place, right? Um, we call each other. I don't even know what that is, but I like scribbled. I hate when I scribble and I can't like write everything. But yeah, I hope that that made sense. I wanted to talk about telepathy because I feel like we're gonna start seeing a huge raise in telepathy. Um, People just hearing you. You might even just think of them and they hear you. You'll receive calls, you'll receive texts. There's a huge partnership energy coming back, reconciliation energy coming back. More and more people are waking up to their truth. And a part of waking up to your truth is like actually becoming conscious. And when you become conscious, you start to like relive all the shit that you bypassed. So like if that ex-boyfriend like ghosted you, um they're probably coming back because they woke up and they realized like that wasn't acceptable and they didn't do you right, and so they've dealt with karma. Like they've been dealing with karma either for years or months whenever you guys broke up, depending also on your sign and like the energy that you've exuded since the breakup. Have you like stepped into confidence or have you shrunken? You know, have you still decided to like allow them to feed on that energy of like not feeling enough? So that is coming back to like almost test you. You're gonna start to see a lot of people going backwards and like choosing to like go back with the lover that never really even loved them or wasn't even like aware of how much detriment they caused, and that person will go back to sleep who's awakened. We're also going to see the opposite, right? We're going to see like couples coming together because that person that had to get left woke up and decided to do the work and caught up to their partner, and so now the partners are now coming into union together and they're going to be doing their mission in which God instills for them. That is what technically, like, if we really wanted to talk about twin flames, I would say twin flames are, but they can't exist if both do not do work. Yeah, I want to just go ahead and pray and then get into the reading, but I was hearing some noises. Let's pray and get to the reading. I personally just want to like throw out there, we are in an energy right now for the feminine, the divine feminine. This is for you. The energy that we are moving in is like we're not taking shit, okay? We're in a really empowered energy. And so the collective that is like moving forward and deciding like this is my year, right? Like this is the energy where I step up and I like am doing what I need to do as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as a mentor, as a teacher, as a student. Like I'm doing what I need to do and preparing myself because I'm ready for the next level. If you decided to take on this mission, I want to say like you're prolonging, like you're making a sacrifice right now for a greater reward at the end. So you know who you are, whoever I'm reading this for, like you know who you are. Be prepared to step into your new energy and be prepared for what you've been preparing for, you know? Spirit's not really playing with this group. This work is Spirit's excited. I like I can really feel Spirit like, oh my god, like my children are waking up. Like my children hear me. Like I feel like it's the crowd that used to go to school or you used to go to church and fall asleep in the church, but like you still liked going. You know, you were up for the praise and worship part, but you fell asleep during the sermon. That's for y'all who like forgot about God and then came back to God in the last few years because you knew better. Okay. Ooh, sorry, I was just like, but I hope y'all got the message nonetheless. Um, Thank you, God, ancestors, guardian angels. Thank you, Pachamama, Mother Earth, for allowing me to read for the collective. I just ask that you bring me into the vessel for you to be a channel for this collective and allow them to hear me through you and hear you through me. I pray that every word that I say is a direct correlation of what your words are for the collective and that I can just be a vessel and decipher for our collective today. Just say I pray, amen. What is it that the collective needs to know for this week? These are newer cards, so it's a little bit harder to shuffle. Funny, I picked this out in a reading earlier. Spirals of manifestation. I did want to say, too, I am open for readings if y'all are interested. I'm just opening up readings, and I'm not going to be taking like a ton at a time, but I'm taking a couple a week. And yeah, if that's something that you want to experience or come through with me, I would happily be guiding you through your reading from your ancestors. And God. Why am I always like this from high? Spirit, what's the message of spirals of manifestation? Is there anything? Once again, I feel like this is coming into like that oneness energy. This is coming into like that divine feminine energy and really stepping into your truth and stepping into what you know is faith. The collective has really been so afraid to push on for their dreams because they're so worried about their security. And Spirit is saying sometimes you need to take a step away from what you think you don't have and remember that you have me. Okay, sometimes you need to take a step away from what you think you don't have and remember that you have me. That's a direct message from Spirit. Spirit is saying sometimes you're not going to have the money. Sometimes you're not going to have the security for a month, for 2 months. Maybe you have to move back home with your parents, but you still have options. And instead of utilizing them, you're making excuse after excuse after excuse of why you have to suffer. Okay, against the grain, this is a 4. You have to go against the grain. You have to, like, that's where faith really comes from. It comes from your ability to choose differently. It's just funny because, once again, like, I'm seeing the number 7 and I'm hearing Aquarius, and like we're moving into this energy of Aquarius that moves against the grain. And they do that because there's always another way. This is all about remembering there are more than one way to get to your destination. And it's when you continue to take that course and follow that person and like idolize them that you continue to hit roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. You have to swim the other way because there's an opening that's way sooner, and instead you're trying to take the long way. Okay? Legacy of light. Okay, we have a 7 there. The light that you're looking for is over here, but you're looking this way, and you're like, yeah, I don't really, you see that? Nah, I don't see it either. You know, and you're playing yourself. So Spirit is like, hey, maybe if you swam over here, you could get out quicker and get up to the top so you can breathe. Okay, let's see. Also, what is 4 months away? I'm hearing. What is it? February, March, April, May. Okay, so some people may be receiving something in May. I'm hearing birthday in May. So this could be for Taurus. I just feel like y'all need to stop worrying about who your counterpart's gonna be and start remembering that you have to first be your counterpart before you can have a counterpart. Some of you have a lot of codependency that you're working through, and this is a part of your purge. So Spirit is wanting you to know, like, Stop resisting the purge. Okay? Stop resisting what spirit is trying to put together for you. You're going to end up self-sabotaging, and then you're going to have to wait another cycle until you can get this opportunity again. Stop forcing. You're like forcing something to happen one way, and spirit's like it's not meant to happen that way. Come to life, okay? So in May, some of you are coming to life. In March, some of you are coming to life. That's another 7 here. And what I really feel like is like you deciding, you sacrificing this relationship is ultimately going to bring you life. Okay, I feel like a lot of times you get very caught up in the idea of something else, or you fantasize about someone and you think it's what you want, and then it ends up not being what you want. And then you're frustrated and upset, and you're sad, and you fall, like you lose life. Your energy is just being siphoned from this being or this person or this thing, and then you end up saying like, wow, I wasted 3 years of my life dating this person that didn't want to marry me. That sounded personal. I don't even know where that came from. Inner trust, okay? Once you build that inner trust, you're going to actually see the true you. So right now you're on a personal path. And a lot of us that are on this path have had to say no to some things because it's not in alignment and it's not a part of the vision that we've already been shown. And you're trying to force something that's just not meant to be. And you have to recognize, like, we've been doing the work so we could recognize and see what's for us and what's not, what allows us to feel safe in our bodies, what allows us to feel at home. If we're still questioning and doubting it, then we probably don't need it at this time because we need to be clear, And I think a lot of us just question, like, is this friend really my friend? Or we stay around them because they're comfortable or familiar, and then it's like we have, like, true family out there that wants to be there for us, that wants to elevate with us, that already meets us where we are. And so Spirit is like, get very clear right now on every single aspect of your life, like your partnerships, your friendships, your business alignments, like where you're working. Like, get very clear, because if you don't decide, I'm going to decide for you. And I want you to think back to when you were a kid and you didn't know what you wanted to eat. And so your parents decided, and then you starved that night because you didn't want to eat that. Like, it'd be that deep for real. But I like how those were literally 2 7s. Like, we started with spirals of manifestation. So we're starting to see our manifestations. And then we start to flow. It says against the grain, right? Or this could be resistance. But we start to flow with what we feel called to do. And we really start to get close to ourselves, with our ancestors, with our inner child. We become one with that, right? And then we come back to life after choosing, just something that wasn't in alignment with or for us. And we really understand now we have inner trust because we've made a decision for ourselves that has now elevated us. With that inner trust being a 2, we then hit 29, okay? Seeing the true you, 29 is an 11. We don't need to necessarily reduce down 11, but that once again comes back to a 2. And I really, like, it's funny because before I started this, I was like about to pick up the mirror that I have on my altar, and I was like, no, I don't need that. But I wanted to pick it up. It's just a little circle mirror. And I wanted to pick it up because I was like, this is really about like looking at yourself in the mirror and like deciding if you actually like what you see now. Like, you've been doing this work, but when you look in the mirror, like, are you proud of yourself? Have you told yourself, like, I'm proud of you? Have you literally smiled at yourself in the mirror and said, like, wow, you look amazing today? Like, thank you for carrying me through. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for holding me down. I'm so proud of you, even despite what your life looks like right now, Like, despite this breakup that I'm going through and I have tears going down my face and I feel so weak, like, thank you for carrying me. Do you do that ever to yourself? If not, it's time. It's time to like really look at yourself, look at your face, admire your body. You know, look at the symmetry of your body. Does like one shoulder lean down? Is there like an energy pulling you on one side? You know, is one side going forward? How's your face look? Have you wushwad? You know, like spirit's really asking you, like, it's time to kind of like uphold your energy to the standard of which you believe it is. I mean, some of y'all we can tell. That's none of my business. But others, are you still wearing the mask? Have you taken off that mask with yourself? So spirit is in this energy of like, this isn't about anyone but you right now. And I can't give you ultimately what you want. I can't give you, you know, that wedding ring. I can't give you that trust, that partnership until you've embodied that for yourself. And so the energy we're in right now is really finding a sense of self again and being okay with it. No longer like looking for the light outside of us because we create that light. We've now lived in that light. Diving for the light. You really can't make this shit up. Like, and that's an 11. So now we have 222. The light that you were desperately seeking is already within you and it's lighting up from the inside out. That's the purge. The purge is self love. After years and years of self hate, after really like pushing yourself to some of the furthest edges of life you could go, to the point where you were about to give up, and now you see what it was all for and you actually like understand. There's like these seahorses on this, and to me this is giving Pisces energy. This is when you come out as like the strong, full of wisdom ancestor right before you go into that childlike energy once again in Aries season and really start taking shit over because of all the lessons that you've learned and you've decided to like shift from, you know? There's power in your pain. And spirit desperately wants you to recognize that even though there's been pain, there can also be pleasure, there can also be joy, there can also be love. It is your birthright and you do deserve that. But a part of deserving that is knowing that it exists and knowing that it's for you. Because when you align to that energy, you then say, okay, spirit, I'm ready to have this. I'm ready to know this. I'm ready to feel this because I've given it to myself. I've trusted myself when I had nothing. You know, I still showed up for myself. I still hugged on myself when I wanted to cry. I still spoke positive affirmations over myself in the moments where I wanted to tell myself how dumb I was for not having a job, for not having, you know, a man, for not having this, for not having that, for not being able to provide in the time that I needed to for myself. But I still showed up, and that is my gift. There's power in that. And there's wisdom in that because you've experienced something that many can't say that they have. And so your story is unique and it needs to be shared and it needs to be given a place to live. You can't deny that side of yourself anymore. We've actually come into an energy where we're forced to accept all sides of us, the child, the ancestor, the pain, you know, the lies, the deceit. Some of our fathers have deceived us, so we've sought elsewhere to look for it. And then we hated ourselves for doing that. And it becomes a cycle, and we end up right back where we were until we say, okay, I surrender to it. This is a part of me. I accept it. And then God goes, okay, here's a little nugget. And just keep following until you keep accepting all the parts of you rejected for the last 6 years, you bitch. Okay, Spirit said don't say that. You're not a bitch. But yeah, you know, like, you are a work in progress. And Spirit wants you to actually look at your work, okay? I'm seeing an artist with a paintbrush. Like, look at your work. Are you proud of it? If not, what do we need to do? Do we need to change the canvas? Do we need to add more color? Do we need to, you know, come up with a different plan? Do we want to add, paper mache to this? Do we want to create a wooden carving? Like, what are we going to do now with what we have, with the experience, with what feels good? Okay. I just took up knitting and I really like it. It's a vibe. Um, so yeah, like, get with it, get in it, get messy, understand that like the mess is where the magic lies. Okay, I feel like that's my Aquarius moon talking, because I feel like I am like that guy with his shirt like buttoned, his tie coming off like at the bar at the end of the night, like, fuck, I just read 12 conspiracies and I'm feeling like fuck, like, but it's like, okay, like, cool, bring the mess into something, put it in a piece, write about it. That's what I do. Or put it on YouTube or TikTok and create something from it, but put it in something. That is your work. That is your piece. That is your life. Don't reject the energies that you are. Create from them. Okay? I'm like really feeling I should end the reading right now, and I feel a very strong urge to end it because I feel like the gems have been dropped. Um, but yeah, I'm really rooting for y'all this week. I know it's been like kind of a temperamental week. We've had like a lot of energies changing. We're coming into a new moon. The new moon is ruled by Uranus. It's in Aquarius on Saturday, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow the 21st. Um, but we're coming into a new moon, okay? And it's really like it's coming over, it's ruling Uranus and Saturn. So it's a lot of energies happening right now and a lot of feelings of like not feeling safe enough to move forward. But Spirit is letting you know now you're safe. Okay? You're actually ready. So don't be afraid to dive in, and expect the unexpected. Like really feel like some surprises are gonna come in and y'all are gonna be like, oh my god, this is like the turn of the century. I was not prepared for this. And I really want you to know, if you've been doing the work, it's not going to be bad. But if you haven't, the surprise baby is okay. Wait and find out what I'm about to tell you. But I'm hearing a lot of relationships are they're done. Okay, you cannot save it. You cannot keep doing this to yourself. You're only going backwards, and it's really hurting your chances at like stepping into this new timeline. Like, you are at the end of the day responsible for the change. No one else is. I'm gonna leave it at that. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me this week. I'm so happy I filmed. This is an accountability thing for me too. And I'll see you next week and the week after that. And I won't be taking a 2 week break again. Okay. So I love you. Until next time, peace and blessings.